You're now listening to the Palmetto Dugout Show, hosted by State Director Sammy Esposito, Associate Scouts Drew Stewart and Sean Smith, that discuss all things related to amateur baseball in South Carolina. Here are your hosts.
Welcome into episode 54 of the Palmetto Dugout Show. I'm Drew Stewart here with Coach Espo and Coach Brittle. What's going on, guys?
Coach, what's happening?
Hey, Drew. How's it going?
It's going, guys. It's Thursday. We're ready to college football starting up here. Tigers are on deck for Monday. Sammy's going to look at me weird when I say that.
I think my alma mater goes tonight. If I had to really think about it,
I need your alma mater to pull through tonight.
But it's okay. It's all right.
It's the Wolfpack, so make sure to like and subscribe down below. We'll start out with the business side and we'll end with the fun here. But obviously, 2024 rankings have been released last week. We'll kind of go through some of those. Obviously, number one stays the same, right, Coach?
Yeah, it was. When you kind of look at that class in general, those 24 guys, it's number one's going to be hard to get beat out. If we got somebody that's beating out number one for us, then we got something special going on in the state. But yeah, PJ Morlando's staying up there number one. I think if we put him in any class, he's going to stay up there number one. He's obviously a special talent, and he's going to be number one in a lot of states out there.
Yeah, no doubt. The only change we had in the top 10 was Zach Russell and Mitch Wilson flipping spots at 9 and 10. But we did have a very high riser in Peyton Rogers, moving from 53 to 12, came to the border battle not long ago, and then committed to the Gamecocks not long after that.
Yeah, we had been getting a lot of we've been getting a lot of reports on Peyton's doing better. He threw it at Lake Point earlier in the summer and put up some decent numbers, and then came to the border battle at the end of June. And he made about as quick a work as you can have. I felt like we needed to put him out there for a few more innings. His 2 innings of work, it was 88-90 with a plus breaking ball and a changeup and top-notch command, and kind of made some good hitters look silly up there against North Carolina kids. But he was he obviously trending in the right direction, and not long after that, I know the Gamecocks were able to see him not long after that again, and we're able to pull the trigger. So he was that wasn't a hard one for us to make a moving up there. And you talked about Zach Russell had a big fall. He was at I know, Drew, you have a hard time remembering some of these things, but one of our first events a few years ago down in Charleston, he had come to open ID after a big ice storm across the entire state. And he made his way out there and showed some good athleticism. But he obviously made a big jump last high school. Shows good actions in the infield, is going to get a chance to do both as he continues on. But on the mound, he keeps 88, 91, touch to 92, and keeps getting better and better every time out.
Yeah, no doubt. And then Brittle's in here, so we'll kind of jump to two guys who he's seen this summer coming in at 14 and 15 is Tyler June and Cole Greer. What makes those guys special to you, Brittle?
Well, man, obviously very different guys with Greer being on the mound and June being at shortstop, but just ultra competitive guys. Do not like to lose, whether it be a single at bat or over the course of an entire game. And they got the work ethic that goes along with it. They stay in the weight room. Greer especially has really started to take body a little more seriously, trim some weight. Now he's adding some muscle to it, and seen some recent velocity jumps to kind of match up with that work he's been putting in. And June, man, he's been doing it for a while. He just keeps on and keeps finding barrels and makes plays that nobody expects out at shortstop. So outstanding, both guys, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Both going to the Gamecocks. Cole Stewart Greer kind of hurt me with that one, but hey, we're ready to roll.
It's when a fake family member makes the move over to the Gamecocks, it really hurts Drew. It was a sad night when Drew had to tweet out "Go Cox." I thought that was the end for Drew at that point in time, but he was able to bounce back. And obviously here at PBR South Carolina, we've been huge fans of some Cole Greer. I feel like we've seen him pitch 56 times, I think, in the course of the past couple of years. Yeah, so he's always been he's been fun. the biggest one that every time I ever talked to anybody, you hit on the head there, Coach Brittle, was the competitiveness, right? I mean, it's there was, like all great pitchers, right? There's a day he goes out there, might not have the best stuff, but somehow he walks out of there with a 2-1 win. And they never score off him. So he's always been fun for us to watch.
Yeah, no doubt. Those guys, all those guys in that top half of the 24 class are going to be exciting to watch as they get in that senior year of high school and into those colleges. So we'll hop over to the 25 class. Rankings just came out yesterday, right, Coach?
That is correct. Yesterday, it's a lot of movement.
Change.
A lot of movement, Coach. Let's throw this one out. A lot of movement doesn't mean kids are kind of going backwards. It means there's a lot of kids making jumps. And right, we see that a lot, especially at that age group, right? That rising junior, the beginning of the junior year time frame, that's a big jump for a lot of baseball players, right? You got a lot of kids that maybe are a little bit on the back end of the, developing as an age and maybe hitting some maturity and kind of some growth, but we had a lot of kids that made some jumps, and we've gotten a chance to watch them. And some of these kids we saw at the beginning of the summer, and where they're at the end of the summer was a drastic difference. And it was it's fun to watch those things, right? We see it quite a bit. We get a chance to watch these kids early on and go through high school, but that age group, I would say for most males in general, I remember my 37 years ago back in high school, that was a humongous jump physically for me at that time. And you see a lot of these kids, they're starting to physically mature a little bit more and making those big jumps.
Yeah, we've had some big commitments out of that class as well in the past couple of weeks. And we'll kind of go through the top 10 here because we got some newcomers, we got some high risers that we'll go through. And we'll start at the top. Hasn't changed for a while, and that's still Skylar Hegler, who'll be going to the All-American game in Milwaukee here coming up soon in September. So it'll be exciting to see how he performs at that stage in beautiful Milwaukee. Number 2 stays the same too, Daniel Parker at P27. Skylar Hegler also at P27. One Hegler going to the Tigers and Parker at South Carolina. Those two have stayed the same for a while now at 1 and 2. And then we get to number 3, who's continued to steadily rise up from 25, and he was at the Future Games, and that's Will Craddock at TL Anna. Just committed to the Gamecocks. Coach, I know you're big on him. Why is he number 3?
He's a guy for me who can keep going from there. Like, it's a big jump to number 3, but it's a kid who can definitely stay at shortstop, right? You look across the big leagues, right? You don't see too many Americans playing short, right? Here's a young man who you look at him and it's a 6'4", 195, 200-pound frame. Who you go, that guy can stay at short. That's hard. You got a guy who can stay at a premium position right that and can defend as high as he can, right? Also ran a 6'9". 6, you go, that's not blade speed. But at a 6'4", 195-pound frame, moving that thing at a 6'9", that guy's moving. Got good footwork, good exchange, good arm, and makes the plays kind of with ease. But the bat, right, is catching up and rolling on, right? It's a good swing, but there's juice that's continuing to develop as he grows. He still hit 5 or 6 home runs this high school season, which is still good, especially for a sophomore. And then obviously that power is starting to go. And, a lot of it, right, we talk about the physically mature, and you got a 6'4" frame and a young body, you're going to continue. That part's catching up. So I think the sky's the limit. You got a guy who can stick at a premium position with a bat with power in there, and that doesn't come along every now and again. I don't care what state you're in, they don't fall off trees. It's like premium left-handed pitching. That doesn't fall off a tree when you're a defender at short like that can hit and run.
Yeah, he's got it for sure. Hey, he was a part of the first ever live PBR commitment in the country. No state's done it. Espo was on the call. Hey, it's got a lot of love on it too.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked at 9:45 a.m. on a Tuesday or Monday, whatever day it was, that 200 people hopped on to watch us. So it was it was a little interesting, a little awkward, a little fun. But we big thanks and big appreciation to Will Craddock for hopping on and doing that. I know I know he had a good time with it, and we appreciate him for everything he's done for us with that.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you look at number 4, who's up from, I'm sorry, down from 3 because Craddock had to go there, and that's Peter Mershon. Every time we've seen him, Coach, he's shown really well. The kid just hits. Hitters hit.
Just hit. Hitters hit. It's down to the future game, right? It was the epitome of Peter Mershon for us, right? We're facing the big arm dude out of California. The guy throws a nasty breaking ball down in the zone. He sticks his nose on it, drives it, short hops the fence for a double, right? Fastball, big arm, base hit the other way, right? He's always just kind of hit. And he's hit against premium arms. He's hit against bad arms. He's hit against average arms. He just hits, right? And where's he going to play? Catching, first base, out. Only time's going to tell with that. But he shows athleticism. And I think the thing that we all knew he was athletic, but his 60 time, Coach, 6'5", I believe it was. I mean, I don't care who you are. What 6'5" is rolling, and for the physicality he's got, so he's he technically dropped when you get to it. He dropped one spot, and again, like we talked about, that's really not as much of him. We've had him graded out. He's been one of the top players in the state for a long time, and he's going to be a top player in the state forever. But he's just a hitter that, and sometimes people go, oh, well, he does this, he does that. But I'll tell you one thing he always does, get hits. And that's all that matters. And with that size and obviously that speed, I think that's going to play for a while.
Well, he knows the game very well, too. Had a big play in the future games, showing the baseball IQ off. So that adds to it. Dangerous when he's on the base paths as well. Number 5, big mover here. Coach already knows I'm a fan of this one. And that's Landon Fowler at Powdersville, right-handed pitcher who I think caught a lot of eyes at the future games.
No doubt. I mean, right? I mean, you and Sean, the illustrious Sean Smith, bicker back and forth of who saw him first.
I was first to see him throw.
But it's in your backyard. But like we see him in the preseason All-State, right? It's 84, 87 with the okay breaking ball. And then we kind of see him on the back end of the spring, right? And it's better, right? It's like 86, 88, touched in 89 or something. Breaking ball got better, right? Then we see him at a scout day at the beginning of the summer, and he's kind of just playing catch at 87, 88, 89. And like me and you both were like, this guy is going to really throw it, right? We're going to get him down there futures game. He's going to touch it 92. He's going to do that. Well, he was only 91 the future games, but right, got that low 3/4 slot. Breaking ball continues to impress and get better with a changeup, and the athleticism speaks for itself, right? He threw and was getting ready to go, had to go to football practice and be his tight end duties over there, right? So he was down there at the future games, impressing everybody, right? Throwing the beginning of the thing for us, matching up against that California guy. And stuffed that guy. He was one of the better guys in the country, and just kind of showed what he was all about. But you look at, kind of like Coach Brittle talked about a little bit with Greer and all that, but you look at the competitiveness, the athleticism, the arm action, it's kind of the sky's the limit for him. I had a coach ask me my thoughts on him the other day. I go, he'd be your Friday night guy for 3 years. Has the ability to be that, just because if I think all those things that roll in there, and, it wouldn't be a shock you look up in 2 years and the guy's at 95, 96 miles an hour. Just with the ease of the operation. And it's not even be a steadily climb. It's like going fast up there too. So he's doing it all, and he's definitely a fun one to watch because with that slot and the movement and the break, he'd be a tough at-bat.
Well, you look at it too. He's only been pitching for a year and a half. He was
right.
primarily a catcher before that. So it's like, whoa, this is all happened in a year and a half. So like you said, that move is going very fast for Fowler. I'm sure he's gonna land somewhere big. Don't know how soon, how long it'll be, but it will be somewhere big for sure. Then you go to number 6, still in that area, was 5 last time we did, and that's Luke Rope at North Myrtle Beach, going to Vandy. Still a really good arm.
Yeah, it is another, right? It's not a knock on him that maybe he's dropped one slot, right? 88, 91, right-handed pitcher with a plus breaking ball and a changeup, right? Again, like it's that guy's just, right, just starting his junior year. Obviously, I think their track record speaks for itself with Vanderbilt, with recruiting players and evaluating them. And Coach Brown, their pitching coach, does a tremendous job with everything. So them pulling the trigger on him when they did, you kind of go, "Ooh, obviously they got something." And I mean, that's another guy that you look up. And this class to me has a chance with guys like Rupp and those guys to be one of our better classes we've had in the state of South Carolina at the top end for a long time. Usually it's one to two guys might get a draft thing. It might be a lot of them when we roll out of this thing in a few years with those guys. So, and he's right there up there, right? He's going to be a big physical body with good athleticism and obvious arm strength right now.
Well, the arms in this top half of this class are really good because you go down to number 7 with Jake Morris at Lugoff Elgin, left-handed pitcher up to 90, who's got a chance to be really good as well.
Right. Oh, and by the way, I'm also the quarterback, right? Slinging some balls around the field on that one. Right. We've seen him the past 2 years down at Shipyard, and when he's on, and I hate saying the term raw a little bit, but he gets a little, commands a little, when he gets locked in and when he's in there, nobody wants to hit against the kid. Now he can get a little erratic and spray some balls around, but he's also a young, and he's 6'5". I don't know. He's a big kid, right? He's a tall kid. He's kind of gangly. When it matches up and that body's all synced up, he is a very tough pitcher to face. And talking to some kids last year down there, they were like, I couldn't see the ball, the slider, like they had no chance. And these are kids that we were talking to that are going off to college to play. It wasn't just some Scribinis roaming around town. These are good hitters that were just overmatched by him. So, he's got a chance to obviously when it all kind of gets synced up and grows to keep making those big jumps too. But he's a fun young one to watch. And I wouldn't, that left-handed power arm, they don't fall off the tree.
No, they don't. It's hard to see those 6'5" arm up to 90. Hey, he's got a lot of left there. And then 8, Teddy Gardner at JL, man. Another arm, right-handed pitcher going to Carolina. Upper 80s as well.
Yeah, and he's bouncing back from an injury. And that was one of the things kind of we didn't want to, deduct much from him because he's battling off an injury. But, it kind of a couple slots down or whatever he fell. And a little bit was because he hadn't pitched in a little while. But it's not more of a knock on his ability. But it's another big, strong right-handed upper 80s arm, right? I mean, it's an 87 to 89 right-hander that's got good command. And, he's bouncing back, talking with his future pitching coach in college, making the right adjustments, making all the right moves coming back. So he'll be a special one up there in the upstate to watch this spring once he bounces all the way back.
Back in Austin's backyard. Maybe we'll get him out to a game.
Probably not.
Probably not. Vacation. He'll be listening to this on his car ride over to his school in the morning. I guess the gist of this top 10 is going to be arms because we go to number 9 here, which is somewhat of a high riser up 10 spots from 19, and that's Seth Manning at T.L. Hanna High School, another right-handed pitcher going to South Carolina. And I'm just going to say this. I guess if you go to Hanna, you go to South Carolina. They got 3 South Carolina commits on the roster now.
Back in the day, it was kind of a split, right? Which way are you going on that one? A couple go to Tigerville, a couple over here to Columbia. But, yeah, I mean, Manning, right, we got a chance to watch in the spring. Catcher, kind of reliever. We're kind of hearing some buzz on him. We see him at the Diamond Invitational, right? He's like 88, 90. Then he kind of off the map. We didn't see him for a little while. Then he comes down to the top prospect games, and he, unfortunately for him, due to the weather, we got to just unfortunately for us, we just got to watch a bullpen. Yeah. But right, it's an electric arm, right? It was 88 to 90 on a late night amidst the clouds of the fireworks that were rolling through Charleston Southern's field down there. Yeah, the conga line bouncing around, but it was an electric arm with good arm speed. 6'2", like very thin frame that you're going to say the guy's going to put on some weight. And talking to him, he's kind of removing himself from that catching position, kind of be able to make some more growths, maybe still do a little outfield or something to keep hitting because why not? But, he's going to be able to, bounce back. And I think that's going to be a low to mid 90s arm in no time at all. And I know he's kind of, touched it a time or two, but it's an electric arm with a good breaking ball. So he's made some big jumps, and it was fun to kind of close out the extreme late night for us down there with him on the mound.
Best night of my life. It'll always be. We moved to 10 here. Another arm outfielder, Brandon Cromer at Lexington High School, going to the Gamecocks as well. So another arm.
Yeah, and I guess we look at it, and I'll throw it with him. I guess we won't look at a shock with a Cromer going to South Carolina.
Yeah, exactly.
There's been a long history there, but yeah, I mean the thing that makes him special, right, is obviously it's a left-handed pitcher, right? It's upper 80s, 86, 88 with a plus breaking ball and a changeup, but his ability to swing the bat as well too.
Yes.
Talking with the coaches, he's a true two-way talent. He hits in the middle lineup there in Lexington. I know South Carolina loves him as an arm, and they also love him with the bat. Which way is he going to go? Who knows? Time will tell, but he is left-handed. So that usually kind of, puts the top over there. But he's kind of what we talked about Mershon. He's a hitter. He just gets hits with some pop in there. So he's obviously a football, wide receiver, I think, on the football team. So shows some athleticism, and also, being able to do both with the bat and with the arm. So special talent up there in Lexington. And obviously, Cromer going to South Carolina, big shock. Here we roll.
Big shock. That rounds out the top 10 there. So a good bit of changes throughout that top 10. So we'll kind of go over one newcomer and one high riser. So we'll start with that newcomer, which falls at number 11, and that is Gavin McDonald, Legion Collegiate, right-handed pitcher. I think he kind of made our eyes jump a little bit, right, Coach?
No doubt. I mean, 6'4", 225, first of all, comes rolling out there. And, we kind of hear a little bit, hey, supposedly he was up to 92 or 93 a couple weeks ago. Right, and he comes out as a two-way guy also at first, sort of banging some balls off the wall during BP. And I think he kind of showed his arm strength when we did the defense eval, and he goes 86 across the infield at first base. And we're like, oh, this guy might be able to, and then comes out, right, it's the big body with, 88, 89, 90 of that night with a really good hard slider. Argue was kind of in that mix for that top 10. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to fall? But kind of a good newcomer for us. And, he had did an event with a scout day up in North Carolina beginning of the summer. Kind of was an 85, 86, 87 guy and kind of making the big jumps. And, obviously that big frame, another young guy with that size that's kind of molded all into one. You kind of look like a big power arm right-hander coming out of there. Legion Collegiate keeps pumping them out up there.
Keep pumping them. It seems like that arm's rolling and rolling because they lose a good bit to colleges this year. And then we'll move to a high riser here. We'll bring Coach Brittle in on this one. Up from 42 to 19. I know I'm a huge fan of this kid as he's progressed enormously throughout the years, and that's Justin Sheffield. Coach Brittle, what about him? What makes him good, special?
Well, man, first of all, you get a kid with that much talent, and I think I coached him in 4 or 5 games before I ever heard him talk. He's a quiet kid. He just goes about his business. He's there for the game, but had to play a fair amount of infield last year in high school and focused more on the outfield, and he's always hit, but really improving his game defensively as well to become a little more of a complete player. And now I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. But best thing about him, the barrel on his bat is huge. He does not miss barrels a whole lot. He is just ball in the gap. Every time you turn around, it seems like. So, yeah, outstanding player and just very humble kid. Just wants to keep getting better.
Yeah, I think it was we finally got him to smile a little bit down there in the Futures game. And it was more so because there was a camera guy floating around and was trying to get him to do something, and everybody started busting his chops. Kind of got a smile, and everybody's like, you do smile.
That's right.
But
once he loosens up, then he's having fun, but it takes a minute to him.
And plus, too, like you hit on the head, right, kind of improving in the outfield. There was a couple plays during that week down there for us. The first one, he kind of makes a really high throw, trying to air one out, and we're like, hey, turf, use a good long hop.
Right.
A couple days later, kind of gets a similar play, makes that quick adjustment, throws a nice, easy long hop in there and throws the guy out with ease. But you can kind of see a little bit of you tell him something, he's coachable, he kind of picks it up real fast too. And, like you said, you throw that athleticism and the bat speed along with the being able to be coachable and make those adjustments. That's got a good one for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, to see the other newcomers and high risers, you'll have to, like Austin says, subscribe and see the story. But that'll be coming out, I believe. Our newcomers and high risers coming out when, Coach?
Newcomers are out today. High risers will be out tomorrow.
So there you go. Make sure you tune in. 26 rankings will be coming out really soon.
Next week.
We'll be ready to roll those out.
Need a vacation. Where's that vacation director? Hook me up at the place.
You're gonna have 27s not long after that. So
give me a breather.
Hey, but we do have 2 shout-outs, 2 commitments. We've kind of settled down with the commitments, and we just talked about those with Will Craddock and Seth Manning, both from Tijuana High School, committing to the Gamecocks. So we'll see if we can give some more shout-outs on the next episode. Hey, Berto, we'll kind of talk about some stuff real quick. Obviously, you're at Power. Talented summer throughout the year for all of your guys' age groups. I know we were able to see both of you down at the shipyard with your 16s and 17s. I believe 15. I believe all age groups.
All of them were there. Here. They were all there.
All of them. Big commitments from some of your guys in the past week. Talk about the group you just had collectively and all of that talent you had throughout all age groups this summer.
Absolutely. Had some guys that obviously great players. And as you mentioned, some of our 24s starting to get those commitments and really turned it on late in the summer. But yeah, through the age groups, just a lot of good players. I mentioned earlier in this state, we got a lot of guys that do multiple sports. And so we get guys that come out and they're used to being physical guys. They're in the weight room with football and that sort of thing. And so, got a lot of guys that run really well, and the 24 group was heavy on arms. We had some pretty good hitters too, but the 2025 class that we have in 2026, they can swing it. They can absolutely swing it, especially our 2026 team that came down to Charleston with the summer championship. They just I think they only had one game where they scored less than 10 runs through the whole tournament. They just swung it like crazy. And that's those guys, man. They're just ultra competitive. They love playing the game. And, a lot of fun being around these guys this summer for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. We kind of look forward to seeing those guys in the fall and spring as well, and the next summer, because it's always exciting to see those guys compete because that's what they do is compete. Now, we'll get to the fun side of this episode here. Brittle is on as our guest picker for week 1. Finally, Austin wins week 0. He wants everybody to call him the champ, but we're not going to do that. We don't want his head to get
I'm gonna throw an asterisk in there, by the way, because he gave up his reason why he ultimately won without telling us. He has his own guest picker in his own house that helps him with picks. So we can't confirm that he made the picks, right? Because he acts like he's got to work too hard now and he can't hop on the show. So I'm going to go ahead and take his crown from him. He's lost week 0's crown. As he told us yesterday, his wife made a certain pick, so therefore we've canceled it out.
And it's week 0. Can you get credit for picking scrimmage games? I mean, that's
Hey, that's why me and Sammy finished together the same record at the bottom. We let Sean and Austin have their glory at the
We
top.
just let them have their week.
Yeah. So we'll run through these. I'll go, Sam will go, Brittle, you'll go, and then I'll announce Austin's pick. I'm sorry, Austin's wife's picks.
Hey, maybe she's that good. Maybe it's a career change. You know what I mean?
I feel like they would pick the mascots. They don't pick the teams. They just pick.
She's
mascots.
obviously she's a good picker. So maybe we need to listen to her.
Take that message.
Maybe we need to bring her on the show. You know what I mean?
Instead of Austin, I think we could do that. I think that would work a little better.
Yes.
So we'll start out with game one here, happening tonight, and it's Nebraska at Minnesota. Minnesota's 7.5-point favorites. The Matt Rule era at Nebraska is getting underway, but let's row the boat. Give me the Golden Gophers.
You know, Coach, how about the volleyball at Nebraska last night? Did you see that?
94,000 people.
92,000 people showed up.
Crazy.
The Husker fans are crazy. They're ready for it. The Gamecock fans are happy that a certain offensive coordinator is left here, and he's in Nebraska. I'm going the Cornhuskers for the win.
Oh, here we go.
Wow. Too much new. I think Minnesota takes it. Rule's going to make them better, but not in game one.
Too much. Of course, you went with Nebraska. You sound like Sean Smith now with your reasoning. Austin's wife is rolling with the Golden Gophers. The family is taking Minnesota.
The family.
So you move on down to game two here. Also tonight, and it's Florida at number 14, Utah. Utah is now 4.5-point favorites, down from I think 7.5. But here's the kicker: Utah is apparently starting QB3 tonight.
Got some insider information.
Inside. No, this is just, well, sometimes. Cam Rising is not playing for the Utes, but you know what? Florida's got to make a long trip out to Utah. Give me the Utes.
You know, they do have to make a long trip, but it's a good thing that it's a nice charter flight. They go early. I appreciate you giving up the scoop on the injury because I was going to go the Utes, but now that you gave the scoop on the injury,
here we go. It just means more. Say it.
It just means more. You know, I mean, it's you look at the records year in and year out. There's one league that wins everything, so I'm gonna go. I'm really going with SEC. I'm going with Florida. You know, I think you know the coach getting to get this thing rolling. Florida Gators.
Okay. Go ahead, chomp it.
Utah is a tough place to play, but if you don't have a quarterback, as unfortunately Clemson in the last couple of years, I think we got to go Florida. I don't think Utah can get it done without a quarterback.
Man, I just changed all y'all's picks by breaking news. So look at
you
these,
did.
Maybe. Austin's family is going with the Utah Utes.
Ooh. If you're lying about this, then you really can get us. But
no, I wasn't lying. I saw it. Cam Rising's not playing. And so maybe I'm on the right pick if Austin's wife picked Utah. So that might be.
You're right.
We got a great game here on Friday night. It's Louisville at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech 8-point underdogs, both with first-year coaches.
Can we go tie? 0-0? Can we go tie?
You can't do it. But hey, I think the game is actually at Mercedes-Benz Dome. I think it's the Chick-fil-A kickoff. Really exciting
5,000
kickoff
people
game.
there.
But give me the Cards.
Cards. Move on.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Austin's family went with the Yellow Jackets.
Oh, God. That was Austin's pick. That's all Austin's pick.
He's a. I don't know. That can't be his pick because he's a Dogs fan. So why
He
would
is
he
a
take Georgia Tech?
He got confused. He just heard Georgia.
It's for Georgia. Then we move down to Colorado, playing TCU in Tennessee, in Nashville. TCU is 20.5-point favorites here. The Deion Sanders era kicks off, but the Horny Toads get it done again.
Coach, 53 new transfers for Colorado. 53.
It was more than that.
I saw a great quote by Deion yesterday. He said they were asking about culture. How do you change culture? He goes, I don't care about culture. I care about winning. He goes, I've seen plenty of quarterbacks and wide receivers hate each other, but when they get out there in the field, they make some good music together. With all that being said, I'm still sticking with TCU. I think it's I think the prime time era is going to be fun to watch. I think he's going to get it figured out. I do, but I don't think yet. I think TCU too much to overcome.
Yeah, TCU.
Well, Easy one there.
Yeah.
Austin's family goes with the Frogs as well. So it's a clean sweep for the Frogs. So if you're a betting man, take Deion Sanders and Colorado there. Then we move up to Charlotte here. Number 21, North Carolina takes on South Carolina. South Carolina, 2.5-point underdogs. They're going to be playing at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. This is a tough one, but
Toss up.
What?
Toss up.
Give me the Tar Heels. I think Drake May is too much for the Gamecocks.
Coach, I didn't know this till I saw it on the Wonderful Order social media yesterday. 7 out of the last 9 games have been won by the Chickens. I think they've all been by double digits. I think the trend continues. I think Coach Beamer and crew continued on and get one of their 7 wins this year. Beats up on the Tar Heels.
Yeah, I don't like it, but maybe Cole Greer softening me up, but I think South Carolina beats North Carolina.
Hey.
Yeah, late score. Whoever has the ball last.
Hey, look at here. Austin's family is going with the Gamecocks too. So I'm gonna be the only North Carolina guy here. That might hurt Sammy's fit. That's why he didn't go in North Carolina. He's a Packer, so he couldn't pull for the Tar Heels. Then we move over here to West Virginia at number 7, Penn State. Penn State 20.5-point favorites. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Nittany Lions.
Yeah, Penn State. Not even close.
Yep. Another clean sweep. Austin's family takes Penn State. Interesting game here. Coastal Carolina travels all the way out to California to take on UCLA, and UCLA is 14.5-point favorites. I think UCLA wins it, but I think it's closer than 14.5.
Upset special, you thinking? Upset special? I mean, Coastal Carolina has a 36-year-old quarterback starting for them. Been in school for a long time, but I think UCLA's starting to maybe figure it out a little bit. You talk about long trip for Florida to Utes, even farther of a trip from Dirty Myrtle out to Hollywood out there. But I'm gonna go UCLA for the win.
Yeah, UCLA, but I agree with you, Drew. I think it's less than the spread, but I think UCLA gets the win.
And the interesting thing here, Austin's family takes UCLA too. I think the over/under is set at 66. I think
it might be higher. I might go over.
No, hold on. I would go under. Here's why: the game has changed. The clock doesn't stop after first downs now.
That's true.
Watch out, Coach. I think
that sounds like that sounds like a guy who makes some bets on college football. Because I don't know much about that, but I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I got to check my bank account. My teacher paycheck ain't hit yet, so probably not. We're going to move to Sunday night here. I still haven't made my pick technically on my paper here because I'm a little confused. Number 5 LSU travels to number 8 Florida State. Florida State 2.5-point underdogs. Florida State got the win last year, correct? Yes. I believe so.
Correct.
This is a tough one. You know what? Give me the Tigers. LSU wins it.
Tigers roll.
Oh, Sammy.
I think the Seminoles are taking this one. They got all the hype in the offseason. They're going to come in excited. Yeah. I think they're going to win it.
Bold move.
Yeah, I just, usually when the Noles get all the hype, they crumble.
They can wait till week 4.
That's a good choice there. Austin's family is rolling with the Noles. So we got 2 Tigers and 2 Noles here. I went with the SEC coach, so mark that down as first time I went with the SEC against the ACC because I didn't go with the Gamecocks. So then we moved to Monday night, and we're going to come back to Saturday because I couldn't find another game. Monday night, though, is number 9 Clemson at Duke. Duke is 13.5 or 13-point underdogs. Easy, but we'll see what coach says here. Give me the Tigers.
You know, I've been
Let's see
busting
if
your
he has
chops.
it.
I've been busting your chops all week. Talking about how Duke's going to whip up on your Tigers and you're nervous. You don't know what to do. I'm going out on a ledge and I'm sticking with it. Massive upset. Duke.
Yes!
Oh,
That's a
man.
fun
I didn't
pick.
think he had it in him.
That's a fun pick right there. Do I believe it? That's a whole different story. I'm just going with it.
I got to pick a Tiger. Got to. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be an edge of the seat game. I don't think they're going to get it, especially first half. Tigers might be losing at the half, but I think they're going to take it in the end.
Drew will be rattled. The amount of texts I will be getting on my phone if
too.
that's the case is it's going to be.
Hey, well, they sell drinks at the Duke Stadium, so I'm good. We'll just we'll sleep.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to overcome that crowd. So,
hey, you might even see me because the crowd will be so big. You might see me on the TV, so watch out. Hey, but you know what? We'll be flying at about 12 o'clock on Monday. PBRSC will be there. It'll be flying high and proud.
Nice.
Hey, Austin's family, I think they're on to something. They take the Tigers. So watch out. We move to a very interesting game. Game number 10 is Akron at Temple. Temple is 9.5-point favorites. Give me Temple. No clue about the Zips.
Maction at its greatest. Go Temple.
Yeah. Going with Vegas.
Yeah.
Going to
They got to
Vegas.
know something. I don't know anything, but they got to know something.
Yeah. No clue on that one. And then our tiebreaker, in case we tie here, total points, North Carolina, South Carolina. The over-under is set at 64.5. I think Austin went 55, if I'm correct.
Ooh.
I'm going to go, I think it's over. Give me 38-35. How many is that? That's 70, 73? Yep, give me 73.
I was going to go over. So to beat you, I'm going to go 75. I think it's high flying affair. Spencer Rattler, Drake May. Don't know if anybody's got a defense. I'm going a lot of points. Exciting game with the Duke's Mayo Bowl, part 2.
Yeah, I came in right at 70 on this one. I think they're going to score a lot too. That late touchdown pushes it over the total.
Hey, I hope the three of us are right. I need the over there. We'll see though. So hey, that's gonna do us for week 1 there. Episode 55 is coming up next week. We're not sure which day yet. We just kind of pick a day now. We'll have rankings update for 2026s.
26s.
Obviously, our 26s. Our week 2 pick'em, guest picker, still to be announced. But we do have 2 more things here. Pro case date is set, right, Coach? October the 10th.
October the 10th. We'll be rolling at Lexington County Ballpark out there again for year number 2 out there. So looking for all that stuff to start flying out. The invites start flying out here soon. That event will be on the website here soon. So we got that one set, and we'll kind of get it rolling. It just got set this afternoon, so we're fired up for it.
Ready to roll.
And then unsigned senior.
Yep.
Right, we're just waiting on the venue. As soon as that venue gets booked, back into the fall. So we hadn't. This staff of PBR South Carolina has not won one of those, but we had a lot of interest in us doing one last year. So we're gonna get one rolling this year.
Yeah. So hey, that's gonna do us for 54. Coach Brittle, we appreciate you hopping on, being
Thanks
a
for
guest
having me
speaker,
on,
talking
man.
to us a little bit. Yeah. So hey, for episode 54, we're gonna end it right there. From all of us here at PBR South Carolina, we hope you have a great week.